Good day, everybody. 8 common habits that destroy your success. Sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. We do things intentionally or subconsciously that impede rather than advance our success. The first step in eliminating these destructive behaviors is acknowledging them. Here are 8 of the most egregious. Number 1, confusing busy with productive. John Wooden said, don't mistake activity for achievement. Let's face it, you can find enough work activities to keep you busy day and night and the weekend. The question is, are they the right things? It's not the hours you put in or the number of items you're working on simultaneously that make you successful. Focus on the items that have impact. Don't confuse being busy with making progress. We measure our success on the busyness scale, when in fact we should be valuing our progress on the activities that will make the biggest impact on our goals. Corporate culture might reward looking busy, but true corporate success or entrepreneurial success is the result of focused effort and pursuit of long-term goals. You know, one of the things I notice about a lot of people in my business anyways, that they do a lot of busy work, but they're not focused on the things that really make a difference. In my business, it's prospecting, setting appointments, and presenting. If you're not focused on that 24/7, you're focused on the wrong thing. So most people are on their computers and doing all kinds of things that have nothing to do with what actually impacts their business. Make sure you know exactly what that is in your business. Number 2, seeking perfection. If you look for perfection, you'll never be content. In an ideal world, the pursuit of perfection would not only be noble, it would be rewarded. In the world we live in, it's a recipe for frustration and a giant waste of time. According to psychotherapist Mel Schwartz, the closest thing to perfection is the ability to be fully present. Let me repeat that because this is really powerful. The closest thing to perfection is the ability to be fully present without any distracting thoughts, measuring or grading ourselves. We're free to really be in the moment. It's in that moment that we're truly alive. If the perfectionist isn't typically present, as they're either busy critiquing the past and replaying their every decision or worrying about their future decisions, know when it's time to move on and make realistic goals for outcomes. Seeking perfection will either stop you in your tracks or waste energy that could be more productively applied elsewhere. In fact, the reality, there's no such thing in our world, right? In where we're at now in our lives, there's nothing that's perfect. Absolutely nothing that's perfect, okay? There's some great things, but you don't want to, perfect is the enemy of great. You could be great at something. Perfect will never happen for you. So just focus on being great, and the money will follow. Number 3, avoiding risk. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. William Faulkner said that. Unless you're a financial certified risk manager, complete risk aversion is not a career success strategy. Of course, taking risks like you are a Hollywood stunt person isn't going to be the most effective approach either. You must take calculated risks that will help you learn and grow. Without risk, you stagnate, while those around you flourish and advance. Evaluate risks based on their ability to help you reach your goals, then pursue the ones that give you the best opportunity to move forward. So it's just really calculated risks. You take a look, and the other thing is, the more prepared you are, the less risk you'll have. The greater your skills are, and the more knowledge you possess, the less your risk will be as well. Number 4, letting fear impede progress. A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for. Fear can't stop you in your tracks. It creates paralysis that causes stagnation. It often ferments in the imagination, where negative images can become larger than reality. If fear is impacting your progress, start with a mindset shift. Rather than letting it keep you from the starting line, let fear become the fuel that helps you take a first important step. One of the things about fear, I noticed that the more prepared you are, the greater your skill set, and the more knowledge you possess, the less fear you're going to have. I say that a lot, but it's really true. The more I improve my skill sets, the more knowledge I gain, the less fear I had. That's a clue. Number 5, reacting versus planning. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Successful people have a plan. They set their goals, they chart a course, they measure success, and recalibrate regularly. If you find that most of your activities each day involve responding to other people's crises or whatever comes to your inbox, you're squandering energy and time. Unless you work for the fire department, reacting to emergencies should not be your strategy for success. When you're bombarded with requests that are only going to divert you from your plan, you have three tools: to get back on track, to delegate, or to be politely be brief or hit delete. Knowing your goals at the end of each day, ask yourself what progress you've made on your goals. You know, one of the things that I think in the planning stage that I always recommend, I've said this many, many times on these calls, but it really made a gigantic difference in my career, is when I started planning every day. So in other words, before I went to bed at night, I would sit down and I would plan every hour of the following day, who I was going to call, what appointments I had, if I had to work on a presentation, when time I was going to do that. Everything was planned hour by hour from the time I got up and got busy, which is around 8 or 9 in the morning, all the way till, for me, when I was building my business, I was working till 10 or 11, sometimes 12 o'clock at night. But I had it all planned out. I knew what I was going to do so that there was no reacting. It was all a plan. Now, did everything always go to according to plan? Of course not. Sometimes things came up, and then I had to, move some things to the following day. But I had a plan, because if you don't have a plan for yourself, somebody's going to have a plan for you, and you don't want that. And then the last thing, fixing weaknesses. Over the years, I've learned that a confident person doesn't concentrate or focus on their weaknesses. They maximize their strengths. It's really true. So everybody has weaknesses. I had my weakness in the beginning when I really got started was I was a procrastinator. I think a lot of people procrastinate, put things off that either are uncomfortable or whatever, and I had that problem. And one of the things I did is I studied, some stuff on procrastination and what causes it, and I figured out that I wanted to be more successful than comfortable. A lot of the procrastination we feel is we don't want to feel the discomfort of the things we have to do in order to be successful. And so I turned that weakness into a strength. I stopped procrastinating. I had a plan. I actually put on my desk a placard that says, "Do it now, do the most productive thing possible at every given moment." And so then I got in the habit of doing that. I lived by that motto. And when I started doing that, my business really took off. I started really having a lot of success because I stopped, procrastinating when it came to my business. Some things I still procrastinate, to be honest with you, but not when it comes to my business. When it comes to my business, if I need to get it done, I get it done now, and then I move forward, because if you don't, you're going to have a problem. You might have a weakness like a sales weakness, or maybe in my business, some people have a recruiting weakness. Or maybe their weaknesses, they're not very good at setting appointments, or they're not good at prospecting, or whatever. Or they're not good, whatever they're not good at. But what you need to do is you need to have a plan. Okay, you know what your weaknesses are. You know what you need to improve on. There's no shortage of material on whatever your weakness happens to be. Just go to Amazon.com. There's probably 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 books on every topic having to do with whatever you might have having a challenge with, whether it's time management, whether it's sales skills, whether it's knowledge about your particular, career choice, or whatever it is. That I guarantee you, somebody's written a book on it, or there's an audio program on it, or there's a seminar on it somewhere. There's no excuse today to not succeed. None. If you're willing to put the time and effort in and grow your skills and grow your knowledge. If you do that, you're on your way to doing something fantastic.